Thank you. A majority of North Carolina voters support President-elect Trump's plans to deport undocumented immigrants, and they support using the military to do it. That's according to some new Meredith College polls released today. WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie joining us in the studio with a look at those numbers. Laura.
Dan, Meredith poll director David McLennan said support for deportation of immigrants is at a high point right now, and it's not just a Republican issue. He says an unprecedented number of Democrats and unaffiliated voters are now backing the idea as well. The Meredith poll asked 800 registered North Carolina voters if they favor deporting undocumented immigrants with criminal records. 85% said yes, while 12% said no. 4% weren't sure. Voters were also asked whether they would be in favor of deporting undocumented immigrants who do not have criminal records, and 54% said yes to that as well, with 38% opposed and 7% didn't know. And here's the real eye-opener. When asked whether they would support using active duty military to arrest and deport undocumented immigrants, 60%, that is well over half, said they would favor it. 34% said they would not, and 7% said they didn't know. A federal law called the Posse Comitatus Act places restrictions on how active military can be used for domestic law enforcement, but President-elect Trump has pledged to find a way around that law, perhaps by using the Insurrection Act. Duke professor Lindsay Cohn is an expert on the domestic use of the military. She's done a lot of research on this, and she says the election rhetoric this year probably made more people perceive immigration as a threat to national security.
But it turns out that the general American public is actually fairly okay with the idea of domestic military usage if they think the problem is a threat. They are less okay with it if it's in response to something like protests.
Khan said Trump can find a way to use the military for deportation, but it may cause problems with morale and recruiting. She said military personnel generally don't see their mission as domestic law enforcement.
All right, Laura, thank you so much.